Okay, well, we can we could probably start here. I kind of like this. This is all right. It doesn't actually have much different from last time, which I suppose is a good thing. Most of it felt fine. I don't think I ended up committing Pariah last time because I felt like if I have this in play, I should be in a winning position when this is in play. So this is like a double whammy. This doesn't do anything unless I have this in play. So you can enchant your opponent's creature, right? It can be used as a removal and also a pseudo fog if they swing with like 1,000 damage and you put it all on their Tifa or something. In fact, if you put this on Tifa, they're going to feel really upset. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, Avacyn. I've played Zatalpa. I can't bring myself to have Zatalpa get clapped around in the current state of this format, so I'm going to protect those precious memories of Zatalpa trashing people and having an 80% win rate for some reason. And I'm just going to play Avacyn instead. It's just a better version of Zatalpa. Everything is indestructible. It is indestructible. And that's it. Mono white, board wipes, upset your opponent with giant spells that they can't do anything about. It has the entire Paradox Engine thing going, so I just put in Paradox Engine itself. And yeah, there's been some changes, like Ultima wasn't around when I played this last, and a few other things like that. Oh, Gemstone wasn't around, actually. I'm not going to world map and expedition map just for... Wait, where is it? Yeah, Cavernous Souls, Naming Angel. I could. It depends how often I'm getting hosed by Counterspell, I guess, but we'll see. Let's just play the game. Well, here's the most popular strategy in the format. What if I just let Real Fellas resolve and I could just binding it? Does that make sense? No, I don't think so. Play that. Draw. Okay, well, Enlightened Tutor's interesting. One, two, three, four, five, six. I can get the One Ring, but then I don't have Engine, so I don't know. So cast this, and then just binding this. Activate, yeah, that's fine. Alright, so I have Pariah at some point, but I don't even know if it's going to do anything against an Ulamog deck. But I guess it has the chance of doing that. Let's draw. Witch Enchanter. I think it's too late to care about World Weave. But I could still just blow it up, I guess. I don't have another colorless card. I don't care about Courser of Crufix whatsoever. I don't believe there's any reason to play Pariah here. I don't think there is. Maybe I should, because there's really no other thing this card does. I might as well do it. Right? If you have Ulamog, I mean, what do you... I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Congratulations. Oh, look, it's a card that doesn't care at all about Pariah. Oh, wait, no, Pariah itself is indestructible, so they have to... It's still Ujin. Ulamog. Forgot. Indestructible doesn't work. It still blocks Avacyn. Okay, they don't even want it. It does block Avacyn, though. Oh, look! A card that doesn't care about anything I've done. Wow. Crazy, huh? Yep, the first time I have it, the mono green deck just exiles it. Typical. Like I said, it literally does nothing. And what do you know, it didn't even last a turn. Crazy. I guess I'll draw. Okay, well, the One Ring is good. It does mean I more or less win next turn. I'll exile this, so they can't just blow up the enchantment with a colorless spell with Ujin. And I'll draw. Now, I have so many mana rocks. I think there's like 39 lands or something? Alright. Well, I have the thing, and it's very likely to win, but who knows? All I had to do was draw 600 cards. What do you have at 1 mana here? Destroy enchant... Oh. Okay. Sure? Why didn't you wait till Paradox Engine resolved? Did you just throw? Oh. Guess I can't be too surprised about that. Let's, do that. Draw. Actually, let's do... Yeah, we draw. Okay, let's play this. Well, this is funny, because I blow up some lands. I don't think it matters, but I do end up blowing up some lands here for my troubles. Yeah, we'll draw again. Plus. Let's play you. Let's, I guess, just cast Avacyn? Wait, tap all that. Draw. I have access to my entire deck, basically. I'm pretty sure I do, at least. That's indestructible. I can just do that. I'll get rid of this stupid thing. I don't think I'm going to tap the One Ring 11 times, but pretty sure I'm just chilling. Yep. Look at that. Well, like I said, Pariah is completely useless in Historic Brawl, but if it wasn't for that, I guess we were fine. It's like, they don't even normally play Ujin. Actually, it's mostly just Ulamog. I don't know last time I've seen this. It's okay, I guess. I wouldn't play it in my Real Fellows, but maybe I did. I don't know. But, yeah, now we have Indestructible and everything. Pretty much access to our entire deck. And I'm pretty sure this works without blowing up my lands. Destroy all other permanents. So what I could have done, I suppose, was activate this before they're sacking lands to Safekeeper, and they're down to 6 lands. Yeah, I think this blows up too many mana sources that the game would just be over for the opponent. I don't think I'm gonna... Well, yeah, I guess I'm not gonna do that. Couldn't they have played their command... Oh, they still can. I was like, couldn't they just play their commander? They can. Where X is the number of... Dies conjure 2. Okay. I guess I just... do this? I guess. Okay. Cast Giant 7/7? Court of Calling? I mean, it's been like 5 minutes. I don't know what they're doing. Are they confused about something? Oh, look, it's Court of Calling. I'm so smart. It's like they're confused that Herd Heirloom doesn't let them get Primeval Titan or something. Mm-hmm. Can I beat a pair of 4/4s? Exile, exile, make a rabbit. Get rid of you and you. This is reasonable. Well, I undid their gorilla thing. And apparently they just have nothing. Alright, get wrecked. Well, this isn't... Oh, wait, okay, I was about to say, is this a giant? That would be problematic. It doesn't care about Avacyn, right? When it enters, exile a creature. Yeah, so Avacyn is always exiled from their command zone. Mana Rock. Which is probably something I can deal with. We'll see. I will discard this because I don't think it's going to matter, and I'll keep the rest of it. I'm such a fan of this card. I absolutely love this. Card makes me so happy. Even if it's not busted, it's just it just does a few things, you know. Hangs out, does stuff. Transform, revealing transforms into it. Reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. Discards. Alright, I have to deal with this in the way I can. I don't want that to happen. Can I play this first? I cannot. Alright. Golem it is. I'd rather not play the One Ring, but I've seen nothing but discard spells, so maybe I should. I have no idea what this is. Okay, you can mill me by... Okay, they mill themselves. By all means. Smothering Tithe. It's hard to pay for this, for the opponent here. But I must admit, Smothering Tithe, creating treasures in this spot, is not actually the most exciting thing. Am I willing to trade? Yeah, I'm willing to trade, right? Of course I am. Also willing to get a new chair. Ugh. Thing is squeaky. My opponent probably shouldn't trade. There's not many reasons I would swing with this unless I wanted it to die, so... But this is a good Smothering Tithe spot. They only have 4 lands. What did they mill? I didn't even look. Okay. Alright, they had to think about this for a while. I'm not sure what that means, though. I'm not sure what to gauge from that. But they were willing to trade. There's a solid chance Smothering Tithe is like pseudo-omniscience here. It's a Mox Amber deck. Wow. With a 6-mana commander, they're playing Mox Amber. That's a bit crazy, isn't it? I don't know, what else is legendary that... This just feels a bit nuts. Okay, they exiled what and what? What were the 2 things? The Smothering Tithe and the Obelisk. Okay. Taking out the rabbit's hilarious. I feel like I should keep this for a better scenario than just taking out a rabbit. Well, it's up to my opponent to actually deal with it, and it does draw cards. So that's fine. It's not like I have to spam anything with it. It just draws a card. I'm fine with this. There is some kind of removal spell, I feel. Let's hope it's a creature removal spell. And not kills my... Oh, of course it kills my commander. Oh. I mean my planeswalker. Silly me. Alright, so we can't cast Avacyn probably forever, but that does mean my opponent can't cast their commander forever as well. So, I think we're winning, because we have the Castle Ardenvale. Yes, sir, that's what I think. That's what I think. I'm going to risk holding the One Ring, but I can choose to start drawing with it eventually. Or if they play their commander, then I can just Windmill Slam mine. Kicker. The only thing in there is stuff that doesn't matter too much. Okay. 1/1 it is. I can also White Sun for a lot here. I think. 6, 7, 8, 9. Do it for 9? Is that good? It's not a one-shot, but they have a blocker anyways. Yeah, I mean, why not? Maybe I keep the treasure token. I don't think the 9th might matters. I'm just going to keep the treasure token. I'm pretty sure the 9th one's not going to break the bank here. Okay, that exiles one and gets rid of another. Does this gain Toxic? Whenever a non-token dies, exile it. Choose exiled with this. Activate abilities. No, it doesn't, so I can just cast this now. At least I think I can. Looks like there's a 2-mana removal spell, but they didn't cast it, so I don't know. Turn the treasure token into a power stone. And swipe. Blocking one is free. But it doesn't die because I Avacyn. Which, again, I don't think actually matters if this would have died or not. It's like Toxic Deluge or Bust, but they played their commanders, so I guess that's not part of the equation. I think you only play this when you're absolutely desperate. It really is just Toxic Deluge, I think. I can't think of another one. The Exile Even or Odds one would do it too. Can't remember the name of it. Okay. Sure. Their commander now has what? Choose a card, exile it as all activated triggers. It can grow? Okay. Well, it's down to this card. It either saves you or it doesn't. Alright, it doesn't. Cool. Wait, what else does this do? Nothing. My opponent was playing a mountain of discard spells. Today has not been the day. It has not been the day. Well, if reality is symmetrical, surely I'm bound to draw a whatchamacallit? Bound to draw really? I'm not spell piercing that. I'm never spell piercing this. Cavern of Souls, so I can actually play the game. Yeah, Cyclonic Rift makes sense. River's Rebuke can kind of makes sense. But that's not what happened now, is it? That's actually pretty good here. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I should just stop playing. What? Oh. I was like, what are you... What? What was that draw? What was that attack? I do not understand. Staff of Completion. Sure. My opponent has a fetish for countering mana rocks, so this one's better than the last one. It draws cards. Okay, they didn't kill it. I'm gonna draw with it. I didn't hit anything useful. Alright, random 2-2. You're up, buddy. The Bankbuster can be crude, I guess. Maybe that matters. My opponent, did they get rid of Witness Protection on purpose? Isn't it funny? My opponent can actually just get rid of Witness Protection against an Avacyn player. If that was any testament to why this is, like, beyond useless. Okay, they didn't swing. They could have swung. This takes a... Wait, what does this do? Okay, it doesn't currently do anything, I guess. Let's try to swing for stats. I mean, you could at least block with the Otter, right? What's the Otter doing? I don't know. I don't know. Let's play you. I'm not going to deal with this. Actually, it shuts down my opponent's search for Escanta, which I didn't even notice. They can't use search for Escanta with the Harbinger Seas, and I certainly don't care about my castles, so... Draw, discard, exile a card face down. You may look at that card. You may pay 6, transform it. Beginning of your end step, or upkeep, exile top card. There's a lot of text on that. They did not produce a 6th land to do the thing right now, right? No. Exile it face down. Okay. Sure, let's try to do that, I guess. Wan Shi Tong is a 3/3 now. Do I get to see this? No. Okay. I'll draw. That was a good draw, I think. I don't want to swing with a 2-2 because it gets right in the way of that. This 2-2 is... you know, it's still better to just crew with this, I think. Avacyn, because they bend Witness Protection, in my opinion, is beyond useless here, so I'm not even going to bother. I could actually take out Wan Shi Tong in combat. Right? Yeah, okay. Okay, no such luck. Let's cast more slow life gain spells that draw cards. And then, I guess I could play the One Ring, but I don't really like it here. Yeah, let's see what's under this. Let's tap that. Let's see what's here. Does that change anything? No. Let's see what's here. Did I play a land already? I don't think I did. Okay, that's fine. I don't need it. It doesn't seem very important to counter, so yeah, I don't think they care about that. So this doesn't flip and become usable because of the Iskanta. I mean, the Harbinger, the Flood Moon. Which does mean I'd rather not let the Flood Moon die. I guess. Well, they're swinging with it now. They have not been doing that when they could have. I don't know what changed suddenly. In fact, this seems like now the time to not swing with it, because you'd want it to die. Sure. Well, there's not much I'm going to do about that. Okay, they take an extra turn, and there is nothing I can do about that. Sure. Okay. This is not lethal, so it does look a bit strange to me. But I makes enough sense to go for it in that regard, I guess. This looks a bit odd. Well, finally found that land. Let's go ahead and swing for 4? Because they really don't want to take 4. I think this is reasonable. It could be not a good idea to do this, but I'm going to do it. Okay, let's, I was trying to bait out the bounce spell, and I failed. I kind of can't tap the One Ring, so I kind of hope they counter it. Okay, they didn't counter it. Tragic. Kind of like can't tap that. Avacyn gets bounced in like a nanosecond. And I don't have a solution to the Iskanta. Whenever you cast a spell, get a otter, sure. I don't know if... I'm going to tap the One Ring, I think. Yeah. I should probably actually try to draw into something that might matter. That doesn't matter. I have no solution to my own ring, and it is what it is. I found Cavern, it doesn't matter, they can bounce my commander and not care about it. I guess I'll cast it. They just bounce it, though. It doesn't do anything. And they just get a 1/1 that makes me lose. Yeah, I'm just losing. That's it. That's all it is. I'm just losing the game. I can't do anything. My opponent really should not actually play the game. They should just do nothing. Same with me. I just can't do anything. If I didn't tap the One Ring, I guess I could live a bit longer, but still, I don't know where I'm going with all of this. Well, does that help? No, not really, but it blows up their talent. Oh, of course it doesn't blow up their talent. Why would it? Silly me. Literally anything that matters? Not quite. And then plus with a sweeper, so they can't make an otter. This isn't really getting me anywhere, but I'm spinning my wheels into maybe something. Can we stop having, like, counter spells, please? I can static prison the... Oh, no, I can't. Oh, I guess I could, but what does that do? They can just recast it. No, they can't. It's gone. It stops random otters for probably the rest of the game? But the game's only 2 more turns before it's over anyways. I feel like I've done a pretty good job at getting this far, but I can't close the game out. And I wouldn't have gotten this far if it wasn't for the One Ring to begin with, so I kind of had to tap it anyways. But yeah, my opponent doesn't really have to actually do anything. Alright, so I'm dead next turn. There's no card in my hand that matters. Currently. I draw literally 4 lands, because why not? Why not, right? It only makes sense that that would happen. Why not have that happen? I can't even stay alive with laydown arms. Right? There's no way to stop my opponent from casting the bounce spell. But I guess I can try. But I can't stop them from casting it. It also doesn't even save me. Is there any card I can draw at instant speed that saves me? Teferi's Protection? I don't think so. I don't think so. I can't believe the One Ring just drew 5 lands, though. That, of course it did, right? It's funny, I actually almost had lethal. Almost had lethal. Alright, so we draw. And then none of that matters. Ujin would have done it. There's nothing I can do. Alright, dead. Yep, I mean, I wouldn't have lasted that long if it wasn't for the One Ring in the first place. But still, it's a bit egregious. It just drew like 4 lands in a row. It's also kind of crazy. I mulliganed 3 times and didn't see a single mana rock in a deck that is half mana rocks. Do I have 6 mana whatchamacallit? Yeah, we had that too. we had the Wandering Emperor thing. I guess would have done it. Oh look, it's the fun card. Wow. That's fun. Glad you're playing that. Glad I have no answer to it. I don't see why you don't do it again. What is this? Exile a creature control, return to the battlefield. Sure. Man, this card is so fun. Don't you love a 1-mana Omniscience that steals cards? Isn't that fun? I guess I'll draw? Why did they do that? Does that make sense? I guess I don't know. I don't know if I would have done that. Sure. They didn't dash the Ragavan. They could have dashed the Ragavan there. Okay. Interesting. I mean, it's the same scenario as last turn. Nothing's different here. Do you have an ETB or something? No. Okay. Opponent has an instant mana spell that costs 1 or 2. Is that what's going on? Or is it just this? It could just be the commander doing stuff. What cost 1 or 2 here? I don't know. I'm not... As if I'm not casting this. As if I'm not casting this. I'm not going to sit there and think about the outs. I'm just casting that card. I'm always casting it. Inquisitor Captain, sure. Does it put the other one in play? I think it does. Yeah, it does. Alright, that's the... My next non-creature is 2 more card. Okay. Okay, they didn't do anything. I guess I'll do this? Just to get the thing off? I don't care if I kill the creature, I just want the ability removed from my face. Sure. It's interesting. Still feel like I've been behind because of Ragavan this entire time, though. I don't really have any good Enlightened Tutor scenario right now. None of those are giants. None of them are giants, so there you go. I guess I'll do this. The damage is already done, though. Like, killing these... They've already done their thing, so I'm, like, perpetually behind. Oh, and then they just have Flage to top it all off, because of course they do. Yeah. Why not? Can't do anything about that one. I still somehow haven't drawn a Mana Rock, nor did I mulligan into one with my 25 cards. So I can play Ossification? What about this? No, I should probably play something that just gets rid of it completely. Like this. No, it's probably best to just completely get rid of it. I'm gonna do that. That way it doesn't come back and destroy my face or something. Yeah, this should make sense. I'd rather not grab the One Ring right now. I'm still trying to not grab the One Ring right now. Sure, that makes a treasure. They probably loot with it, though. Oh, okay. What does that do? Huh. Okay, so I take 2, and then when it dies, I take another? That's kind of surprising. I mean, you should at least crack the clue token. Okay, well, sure. Still not enough to do that. Not enough to do that. Unfortunately, I have to kill this. So I guess I'll static prison it. I have to kill it. Or, like, in some fashion deal with it. They didn't crack a clue token on their turn. I don't really know why. There seems to be plenty of things worth casting there, and they just didn't do that. Like, wouldn't be surprised if this was like a 2-drop that they just now didn't have in play. Did they warp that? They did. Okay. I wonder if warping is right. It almost just kills me. I wonder if you were supposed to just keep it in play here. That's an interesting one. I can't imagine they're going to have enough energy by the end of this game to kill me with this. Sure. I mean, anything's possible, obviously. Alright, I'm going to get the One Ring. Assuming I didn't accidentally yield through spaghetti there. Probably not going to tap it, though. That's still staying there. Let's do this. I can't imagine I'm tapping this. In fact, it's just unrealistic to tap it, I think. Unlike that other game where I could have maybe needed to have done that. Alright, they get probably 2 1-drops, which are castable, and they almost have enough energy to do all that jazz there. Okay, they just choose not to cast their cards. Sure. Let's not pay for this. Decline. I can't end the turn and dodge like a bird encounter or anything like that. It's actually just nuts that I didn't... Whatever, I have no choice. I'm not sure why I just lost a life to that. I thought the turn would just end. I don't understand. Wait, isn't the turn supposed to be over? Am I tripping, or was the turn supposed to be over? I ended the turn with Ultima, right? Am I... Destroy all artifacts and creatures, end the turn. Okay, well, I would guess it just wasn't destined to win that game. You got it. Like, does Ultima goes to cleanup? I believe Ultima goes to cleanup, so... Yeah, like, you discard down to your maximum hand size. But I don't understand what that has to do with the Wicked Roll token triggering. Whereas something like, when this creature dies, mill 3, like that doesn't trigger. So I don't understand why the Wicked Roll token triggered. And I don't understand why suddenly that gave my opponent priority on my end step to cast Get Lost and kill me. I don't know. I've never seen that. I don't think that's how that's supposed to work. But... if ever I had a sign to stop playing this, I think that was probably it. So I'm going to stop playing this. This was a lot worse than last time I played it, That doesn't really surprise me. The format has only gotten better, and after looking at all the cards that have come out since I played this last, there weren't actually a lot of new cards that interested me to play in this deck. So this one hasn't changed that much. The one time I cast Pariah, my opponent immediately untapped and dealt with it, so to the surprise of no one, it did nothing. I think it did nothing back 2.5 years ago as well, so this it really not a surprise at all. This is not a thing, but that's not really Pariah's fault. Just the format doesn't care about it. It's not really Avison's fault either, but the format does not at all care about this. I, oddly enough, did kind of the best against what I thought would be the worst matchups, which are like ignore you green decks. But everything else did not care about this at all. There was nothing I was doing that mattered. In fact, one of the ignore you green decks had an exile, and I still actually beat it somehow. It was a bit nuts. But Overwhelming Splendor, for really the same reason, is just a card, one of my favorite cards, and it just doesn't do anything anymore in this format. I thought I'd give it a shot here, but it doesn't do anything. If your opponent can deal with Avison, they can also just deal with this for basically almost the exact same scenario. To be fair, I did have, I think, 3 or 4 opponents today that, off the top of their deck, drew the perfect card that solved all their problems. There was a blue-white 60 cards in my deck are creature card things, and they had Farewell, and they played it right exactly when they needed to get around this, and then one with playing more creatures after their Farewell. Again, I think that's an unrealistic scenario, and you should avoid those ideas. But to be fair, Farewell can exile everything that is not a creature. It just happens to also hit creatures if you have to do that. But still, I just find that a bit insane. But again, Farewell is, of all of them, more or less the most reasonable one to play in a creature deck, because you don't have to name creature, you can exile everything else. It's just a bit weird because there's not a lot of scenarios in which you would want to exile artifacts, enchantments, and graveyards and not creatures. So usually you do hose your own board, and my opponent would have hosed their own board if they had one, and I wasn't busy blowing it up. Sweepers, I've talked about them plenty of times, and it seems like critical mass of board wipes is a way to like stay in a game, but it doesn't let you pivot into a win unless you're doing something right behind the sweeper, and I really wasn't. Oddly enough, this never, ever, ever came up. It's nice when your commander's in play, because then you can continue to cast sweepers, but you don't really need to do that if you're just casting anything to make infinite monks. So you could play this and play a bunch of mana rocks, right? It itself can just win the game with a bunch of mana rocks. It's not only good when my commander's in play. If that was the case, I definitely would not play it. But there's not a lot of consistent ways to get Paradox Engine Wandering. I found myself with a, whatchamacallit, Enlightened Tutor a lot, and Desperation Enlightened Tutor into Wandering happened a few times just so I could stay in games longer, but staying in a game longer doesn't mean I win. I have no way to pivot into a win once I have stabilized the board. An 8/8 Indestructible is something this format does not at all care about. I think it barely cared 2 years ago, and it definitely does not care now. Counterspells don't care. There are infinite answers to it in anything with blue. Green decks, while I did beat some green decks, could still simply ignore this, because I have to cast it. It costs 8 mana. It's not like it's showing up turn 4 or something. Or turn 3, even. Rofellos could cast it on turn 4, because Rofellos is beyond stupid. So you're playing against turn 4, not really turn 3. It's like turn 4, 5 Ulamogs, and they don't care about Avison. If you cast Avison on turn 6, your opponent can just cast Ulamog naturally with casting only just a couple ramp spells and stay alive and just exile this with Ulamog. And like every green deck plays it, and green is 60% of the format, so that's just one of the countless examples of why this is bad. Black kind of doesn't like it, but just like I said, they had the perfect answer in the black matchup, which was Toxic Deluge, and then I think they even had Shieldred's Edict, where I only had one creature in play, and then they snapcastered Shielder's Edict to kill it again. So they had like all the things that don't care about Indestructible. Indestructible is just not that great. I almost would prefer it to be hexproof or something. I also, for some odd reason, saw myself playing against Ragavan. I don't really know how that's possible. I can't wrap my head around it. I got completely stomped by Ragavan, even with a bunch of board wipes and spot removal spells. It just eventually killed me. I don't know how that's possible. I don't understand at all. That seems completely insane to me. Probably one of the more egregious outliers I've had in a while is Avacyn playing against Ragavan. It feels like a completely different format. Really nutty. So yeah, if I were to play this again, oh yeah, this Smothering Tithe was just not doing anything. Esper Sentinel, my opponent's just the one time it would have been good. They played around it completely. I don't know what I would do to make this playable. Maybe just remove all sweepers and just add like tempo, goofy, mid-range mono white stuff. Whatever the white version of Elder Gargaroth is, you just play those kinds of cards. You know, more Lammy Boys of some capacity. I don't really know what. Elish Norn seems kind of cool. I don't know, not that great. But it shuts down your opponent's ETBs. That could matter. I can't imagine it's too impactful. But it's not really going to matter what you do if your opponents can sometimes just be Ragavan, or you don't have a solution to Rofellos, which will be half of your matchups in 2026. So I don't think there's anything you can do, really. It is a cool commander. I do like it. The trajectory of this format has probably explained why one of my favorite inconsistent opponents that I can recognize by, well, if I saw the name, I don't remember the name right now, but if I saw it, I'd know immediately. The person who plays Redain all the time. I don't know how to spell Redain. I think it has word 1. No, it doesn't. I can do it, I promise. There it is. All I had to do is type in snow. This card, there was someone out there that just exclusively plays Redain. I haven't seen him in a while, but it was one of those players, if anyone remembers, we've played against them a lot, and they crushed me every time I played them. And I was just like, how am I getting dominated by this mono-white nonsense? But I eventually finally beat them in a scenario where they didn't get mana screwed. The first time I beat them, they got mana screwed. And then I saw them like a week and a half later, and I actually beat them in like a more fair and square matchup where we weren't mana screwed. But I was just surprised at how successful this was. And then when I played it, yeah, it was actually pretty good. It was. But now, there's probably a reason why I don't see that person anymore. Redain doesn't do anything. The format is probably well past Redain getting you good. It's an idea of, alright, these are the things I should expect to see, so what is Redain going to do in the deck, in the 99, that makes me feel good about playing it into X, Y, and Z, the most represented things to see all the time or whatever. And I think the answer right now is you just don't really do anything too good. I can see how, like, maybe Rofellos, or just green in general, is a good matchup, because I actually did beat it. You can just keep the board empty and get your thing going and kill them with it. But without... Actually, Redain doesn't really have an 8/8 to close the game out super fast. But without a really hardline solution to something like the Eldrazi, it just makes the mono-green matchups, or green matchups in general, feel kind of bad, because they're going to eventually get you with a giant Eldrazi, even on turn 15, if you aren't killing them, and you usually don't wind up killing your opponent that fast, unless you have, like, exactly the poison counter sweeper, which is, this thing, then you make enough mites and they can't do anything. But apart from that, you're probably just not going to do well about a draw go against most decks, and it seems like you're doing a draw go thing. So Redain is probably why I don't see that person anymore, because they're the deck that they like to play all the time, which is cool. It just doesn't work anymore, which is unfortunate. Maybe I could try it, but I don't think it's going to be that much different from this whatsoever. In fact, it just sort of removes the giant clock I have sometimes access to in the command zone, and then I have, like, to do a draw-go thing even longer, and those draw-go games weren't favoring me. If there's a more consistent way to find a combo with these two cards, I think we're chilling, but there really just kind of isn't. There is, what is it? Search for Glory? I know, the Snowland thing, but if you want to play this and be sweaty, play your Snowlands. But you have, like, these two to find these, and that's about it. I don't even think I ever found... No, I cast this once, I think. But it would be nice if there were more ways to get to this, because this is a very, very good... These two cards here can let you play whatever if that thing you're doing lets you get to them fast enough, so then you can win with them, right? We have the Mana Rock package, we can play the One Ring, we can draw and do stuff, and then, you know, if we get going, we can win. I don't think this is something you put in every single deck. It's not like, oh, this commander doesn't work, let me just shoehorn this in and suddenly it does. Like, no, there's a lot of commanders that are, like, quote-unquote, not, you know, the same 15 to 20 you see every game, and, the only way to make them viable is to put these... No, that's not the case for, I'd say, actually, a vast majority of them. But this is absolutely one of them that would like to have access to some kind of whatever these two cards are doing. I'm not really aware of another thing Mono White wants to do that's like this. I don't know if there's any kind of combo in Mono White. I don't think there is. There are infinite mana things that aren't these in, like, colorless scenarios, I'm pretty sure. But it's not exactly... I'm not a deck that's using infinite mana, really. I mean, it would be nice to, I suppose, cast this every time it dies, but I'm not really interested in infinite mana. We don't even have, like, a fireball or something, but this was not around last time, and it does give me access to a different way to win, which is massive. And it just would be nice to have slightly more ways to find it. Maybe there's one or two cards I wasn't thinking of that could actually, like, get this into my hand consistently, but it is what it is. So yeah, Pariah's... If you have this in play, and your opponent hasn't dealt with it, they're dying really fast, so Pariah is... like, really only doing something in games where you probably were already going to win. You can pariah your opponent's cards, I guess. I don't know. That doesn't feel too great. This actually looks a lot similar to maybe my Elspeth list. Actually, I can't remember my Elspeth list, but Elspeth seems a lot more reasonable to win with. If you want to do, like, a mono-white, control the board, slowly occur an advantage, and then win, I think Elspeth is actually pretty okay at that. Especially when you have card draw stuff off of tokens. So Takasa's Welcome and the other 25 of that effect. Just drawing cards. You can blow up your opponent's stuff, and then you can suddenly make the tokens scary. This is the... It has all of the all the things tokens like to do built into one card, which is kind of actually nuts, but it does. It's a token doubler. It also gives you the tokens and then makes the tokens scary. It is all of it. It's kind of nutty that it's all stapled into one card, and it's a legendary, so it can be a commander. That is a cool one, and I would probably just go that line. So if that Redain player watches my videos and they want to come back to the format, I would say maybe Elspeth is a somewhat moderate, appropriate replacement to Redain. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, this just doesn't work. No amount of removal or sweepers will save you from the thing you expect to play against the most. And even in those other janky, funny matchups, the draw go game didn't feel like it favored me even in aggro matchups or mid-range matchups, and certainly not control matchups. Cavernous Souls did not help with that at all. So it is what it is. I'm more bothered that I had, like, so many games where my opponent nullified my entire existence with perfect top decks. It happens sometimes. It's going to happen you know, at least more than once a year. I play a lot of Magic Arena, obviously, so it's bound to happen, but it doesn't feel particularly good when it happens, especially when you're playing something like Avacyn and it like double dips and you're just like absolutely hosed by the perfect rips off the top 4 games in a row. But it is what it is. So let me know what you thought about this. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.